the pitching guide. Oops, okay. That's, here, I gotta get rid of this thing. That's the pitching guidelines database, but the one I want you to look at is the one that has all the upcoming deadlines.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm more than happy to help, especially until I come up with another project.
Okay, that's great. So I'll be in touch and we'll talk about the whole thing of how can it be better? How can it be less burdensome to keep updated? I do have some ideas about that, but because I'm doing the updating all the time, I don't have time to explore those ideas. So those are the two things that I have.
I'm more than happy to help.
Great, thanks. And Bernadette, I'll be in touch with you also, and we'll figure something out. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Hazel. So again, to put a button, not to put a too fine a point on it, one of those, Hazel does a lot for the organization, and some of the most valuable projects that we have going on are under Hazel, who is, as she mentioned before, looking for some help because, you know, institutional memory is really important, and being able to have other people so Hazel can, you know, enjoy her vacation time more thoroughly, having help with the databases, right? And collecting that information for jobs that are coming up, freelance jobs are coming up. So if you're watching this on video, it's never too late to volunteer. You can always reach out to us and help us volunteer. I wanted to go back briefly to Stacy. I know that's kind of a surprise, but I know that since we're a little loose in our time here, I wanted to make sure I gave you a chance to talk about some of the things that you were looking for, and a couple of projects that you wanted to go over.
Okay. So really the big thing so I do a lot of various things, and I'm still sort of learning what the chair does, but you know, a lot of it right at this moment is preparing for the upcoming conference. I know that seems really early because it's not till October, but the deadline is March 10th, 9 days away. So I'm doing a lot of that stuff right now. And then just like answering emails that come into the freelance community, we had to sort that out, how to get in there. How do I get in there? The former chair has to, every time I log in, she has to put in a little code from her end in Vermont and I get in. We'll sort all that out later. But my big thing right now that I would love help with, and it can take as long or as short a time, just even if you found a couple jobs a week. I do the freelance jobs for the newsletter. And sometimes it's like this week, it was really quick. I probably spent, I don't know, an hour or two, maybe 2 hours total on it, looking for jobs. And there was lots of them. I had maybe 9 or 10 jobs. Hazel sent me one too. Sometimes it's not that easy and they're really rough. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and I've emailed Hazel and Hannah, I'm like, it's coming, I promise, I just can't find any. And I'll end up with like 4 or something. So it's weird that it changes and fluctuates, but I check my regular sources and I'm like, why is there nothing here? And we all have different sources, right? So you would have a whole new, I just want you to just kind of do it. I won't even tell you where I look. We just go do your own thing because I want to see what you bring. So just fresh eyes, just to sort of go out and check and see what's out there. We do try to stick to jobs that are well paid. That means not 5 cents a word, not 10 cents a word. If it's per word, I actually usually don't go anything below 50 cents a word. I know that there's lots of people who will work for less than that, but I don't necessarily promote those. They can find those. I want to give you really good paying jobs. Job ideas. There are some, the hourly rate one is I try to stick to 25 an hour and up. That might be a little low for some people, but if you're 25, I don't know if I think 25 an hour is okay. So it depends on where you are in your career. So I try to sort of use that as a gauge. I'm certainly not going to promote a job that's 15 an hour 18 an hour. You can make that at Starbucks. It's a lot less stress. So those are sort of the general guidelines on that. And that's it. And, you know, more, even some of them I do actually will put out, I don't want to say content writers, but more commercial things. Like if it's a copy editor or a proofreader for an organization instead of a newspaper, that is like Ruth Tyler Carter has a lot of those kinds of clients. She's a very full-time freelancer. She's got a lot of those clients who are not necessarily newspapers in her town, or, you know, so they're good anchor gigs to have. So kind of that's your money, and then you can still do the newspapers and that sort of stuff. So, you know, that's what I'm looking for. And I would say roughly an hour or 2 hours a week. Again, not more than that, but it is every week. And the deadline is Wednesday. And I will get it to Hanan tonight.
All right, thank you, Stacy. The other another thing that we wanted to mention too is we have our new 1 second here. My video is going out. Oh, you guys can see me, but I can't see you guys. Okay,
We
there
can
go.
see you and hear you.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
sure, my shirt looks neat. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to mention, as far as our programming coordinator, we have a new programming coordinator, Stephanie, who's been great to work with and has been working really hard to get our programs up and running. But that also means that there's resources available that we could use help outside too. So we don't want to just take this job and dump it on top of Stephanie. This job includes a lot of different things. So if you know anyone, or you can recommend anyone that has some graphic design work that's willing to do a little bit of help, or maybe just some internet that's savvy with social media, or is interested in that type of work, you know, we're always looking for that type of work as well to help you out in your job there. The next thing we wanted to talk about a little bit, we talked about so to go over it, we talked about our resources. Hanan, were there any other particular things that you were looking for with our newsletter?
Honestly, I didn't think about this, but maybe I just feel if we can get as much as we can, if we can get interesting opportunities to people. I mean, that's I will continue to brainstorm and think about different ways. I want always to improve, even though we are doing good now, but that's what I'm thinking about. But in terms of help, I don't know. I mean, I think everyone is really bringing content on time, and it's great. So far, I really don't have ideas.
Okay, well, that's good. So that's an idea. You have an idea that we need good content, or if there's something that people think is interesting that relates to the freelance community, they can send it to you to put in there.
Yeah, you know, like for example, I feel like right now I'm trying to network with other who can inform us of opportunities so we can share them.
Okay, so sharing a network as well would be something that we could use that's helpful as well. Okay, thank you very much, Hanan. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So we're going to round this out. So for those of you that might be watching by video, even if you weren't here in person, we still need you, right? So there's opportunity and ways for you to reach out to us on the website, on our website, where we have our you can reach out to the different members of the board. So now I'm going to hand it over to Stacy, who's going to tell us a little bit more about asking for any suggestions or help with the upcoming conference.
Thank you, Solomon. That's just it's in September, and I just want to, because we have new faces and new brains here, I just want to throw it out here so that we can get some ideas. Our deadline is March 10th to submit session proposals. So when I say session proposals, those are the programming events. If you've been to a conference in person, Those are the programs that you go and sit in for 55 minutes and listen to panelists speak on the amazing things, all things freelancing. We had 4 sessions this past conference. Some of the sessions we've had in the past are freelancing 101, people who are just breaking into it, just, you know, the kind of the nuts and bolts of it. We've had freelancing 201, like, what do you do now? You've been doing it for 10 years. What's next? We've had how to break into national publications as a freelancer. That was a great one. That was a virtual that was in our virtual conference because of COVID. We've done the business side of freelancing. Hazel's done that one before, and taxes and all the stuff that you got to know, but nobody wants to talk about. It's just kind of a good place to sit, listen to some people talk about it who know what they're doing, and then network with each other. Like, hey, what do you do? How do you do this? What do you do about this? Do you write this off? And all that kind of stuff. Trying to think of any other like really big ones that we've done. We do, so the one that I do every year, that I pitch every year, is the editor meet and greet. That is where we get a bunch of editors from around the country, and some have flown in just for this session. We had 2 editors fly in for the session in DC to be there, and made a vacation out of it to come and talk to freelancers. This year, I'm pitching that as a 120-minute session instead of a 55-minute session. And I'm going to get as many editors as I can. And then I'm also going to have that be a little pitch session at the end. So we're going to change that up a little bit this year. I'm already working with Karen Sneath, who's at headquarters, to try to sort of figure this out, how we're going to run this. So that'll feel like it gets bigger and better every year. I love that one. So I'm going to tell you what we have on our list for this year that we are actively working on right now to gather speakers. So I'm going to read these to you. If you know a speaker who would be great for this, we're looking for diverse speakers. We want to represent everybody. And we're looking for people who are experts on this. They don't have to be a freelancer for these topics necessarily, although some of them you should be. The 4 that we are definitely pitching, but on March 10th, are the editor meet and greet, which I'm sourcing editors. The conference is in Las Vegas, September 28th through 30th. If you have any ties to Las Vegas, if you know any editors in Las Vegas, please email them to me. Send them to me, please. I will welcome all of them. Or other editors, national editors, sometimes they will, like I said, they will go, especially in LA, San Diego, they'll get there. We're going to do freelancing 101. That's sort of a staple, just to sort of talk about how to get into freelancing and how to make a life in this and how to choose this life and make it work for you. We also are going to do one on how to find grants and fellowships and funding as a freelancer. That should be a great one. And then we're also doing one on how to deal with imposter syndrome, which I think all of us have admitted to having. We talked about this and we've all said, yeah, I still have it. And I've got like imposter syndrome as a mom. I'm like, am I a good mother? Should I be a mother? So like everybody has those questions, right? So we're actually searching for a psychiatrist or psychologist who can talk about this specifically for journalists. This is one that's not necessarily geared just to freelancers, but this will attract more than just freelancers. But so that's one that we've talked about a lot in the past and we've never pitched, and we're pitching it this year. So I'm open to, we still have 9 days. If you come up with 5 more ideas, we'll pitch them all. If you have anything you think of, I won't put you on the spot right now to have you shout it out, but if you're thinking tonight, hey, it'd be really good to have this session or a session on this, I'd love to hear about it. You don't even have to give us any more than the idea. I mean, if you want to work on it more, that'd be great. But if you just say, hey, what about this? Send that to us and we'll figure out how to produce it. And also speakers for those, if you have any speaker recommendations or editors, let us know. We do try to get some local people in there because it's just easier for them to say yes if they live right in Las Vegas. But again, I think LA, San Diego will be easy yeses too.
I agree with that. I think if we start reaching out, so if anyone's out there and they know someone that can help with any of these subjects from LA, San Diego, San Francisco, you know, any of the major cities in California or even smaller cities, you know, Vegas, I don't know that they're calling it Media Fest, but our thing in Vegas is not going to be that far away, right? So I just wanted to, before we wrap up and open it up for comments, I just wanted to make sure that there was one more section that I wanted to go over really quick. And that was our resources. So that is actually helmed by Ruth Taylor Carter, our resources coordinator, who's not present right now, but is consistently working on things. Like we mentioned before, she is someone who has been doing freelance for a while and offers a lot of answers to questions when we have them. So one of the things that she mentioned that she might need some assistance with is our chapters how-to guide, which is on our website. The how-to guide is something that we're constantly updating. And in the updating process, we can use all the editors that we can get our hands on. So that means the knowledge of AP style, excellent grammar, you know, punctuation, things like that. It's not something that we're looking at for you to invest a lot of time in. We're not asking you to write a book, but we do need as many eyes on things as we can get. That's someone that, again, is used to that knowledge of AP style and has, you know, a couple hours a month to be able to volunteer to do that. You can also see our email sessions or ideas at the SPJ freelance community at gmail.com. You can send us any ideas that you have about that or anything that you want to volunteer for or any skills that you'd like to offer. You can email us at that address again at SPJ freelance community at gmail.com. At this time, we're gonna open it up a little bit and then get any comments from our new guests. Bernadette, are you able to, I see you're muted. Bernadette, or
Hi, what's up?
hello. I'm
Hi.
sorry to put you on the spot. You have
No,
such a
no,
lovely
that's okay.
photo.
That's okay.
I'm a photojournalist, so I like nice photos. Yeah. So did you have any questions or anything? Was there anything that you wanted to ask or add about that?
No, I guess I'll just wait until the woman with the light white hair contacts me and tells me how to update the what do you call it, resource guide for pitching.
Okay,
And I
Oh,
think
well,
there's two guides to update. So Chris expressed interest too. So Hazel, we might, with Chris and Bernadette, there's two different guides. So it'd be great if one of you took each one.
Sure.
Yeah, like I said, I got time now that I finished my really big project I was working on, and I haven't started anything new yet. So
okay. Well, I just wanted to acknowledge that Bernadette and B. Wren, who's been a constant supporter to our events.
Yeah.
She's somebody that we've been able to rely on to show up and at least, you know, try to show some support. So we appreciate everyone that's able to come when they're able to come. Hello, B. Wren.
Hello. It's always great to hang out with you guys. I'm just listening to see where I could, help. Right now it's not a great time. I recently had another accident, so I am about to do more aquatic therapy and all this stuff. So otherwise I'd be saying, I've literally had to, stop myself from saying, I could do that. I could do.
Oh.
I definitely have to take a pause. But anyway, at some point I will definitely be able to help with some of these things. I do have a suggestion for the March 10th deadline, pitches or proposals, and I can email that.
Oh, great. Yes, please do.
We'll
And
be looking
I'm
forward to
not
hearing
sure
from you.
if it would fit. I'm sorry. I was just saying that I'm not sure if it would fit the format, but if I explain it, then y'all can just make the decision.
Okay, well,
Great.
thank you. And we appreciate we're open to any suggestions that we can get.
But
But
emails
again,
could be because that's the 10th is our deadline to get the proposal into headquarters. So thanks.
So basically don't wait till March 9th because we have to have speakers. So if you have it the next day or two, send it to us. Also, even if, time gets away from you and you're like, oh, I can't do this right now, send it to us anyway, even if it's after the March 10th deadline, because we're going to be putting together the rest of the year programming, and maybe it doesn't make the annual conference, but it could be one of our events like this. So we can do it. I think I'm going to do an editor meet and greet virtually also online, in addition to the one in person in the conference. So we can do some of these online too.
Yeah, that was really fun, the editor meet at Washington, DC. I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was kind of neat meeting the editors.
Yeah, and never enough time, right? So I'm so excited that there's an option for 120 minutes. So, which might be a little bit too long if we only had, let's say, 5 editors or 6 editors, but I think then we can put in some pitches. We'll tell you guys guys and gals, we'll tell you who's going to be there, and you can come in with a couple of pitches, and we'll leave the last 30 minutes or so like, hey, pitch your ideas to these people. I think it's a great benefit to them also, right? They leave with, hey, great, I've got 3 writers working on stories now for me.
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, we wanted to make sure that before we wrap up we have our official wrap up here. Again, we wanted to thank everyone who was able to come. We wanted to thank you because we appreciate your support. Like I said before, the board members volunteer their time. They don't get paid for it, and they do a lot. They do as much as they can. And we really appreciate the board members' time as well. We appreciate you guys doing what you're doing and keeping this organization going. We also appreciate the members, and we want to be able to have the members participate as much as we can. And having said that, I'm going to give the last few minutes here to Miss Overton Johnson so that she can do our wrap up.
Oh.
And her bosses are telling her that she needs to hurry up. That's her boss there.
That's right.
The boss just asked me if she could have a Diet Pepsi, and they know that I don't let them have soda. So I think they thought if I'm at a meeting, they'll be like, oh, she'll say yes. This is a good time to ask her.
And you got to use your veto power there. There you go.
Sorry about that. So, okay, Gail, go. So I'm so sorry. Did you ask me to say closing remarks, Solomon?
Yeah, so we're going to get the closing remarks.
Yes. So really, it's all just nothing formal. Just if you have ideas like B and like what B said for her idea for the conference, or any interest in the volunteer opportunities, if you want to volunteer and even if you're a board member and you want to volunteer for something else that you're not doing, like, hey, I really want to do that. Or something you think, oh, I wonder if they need help with this. Like, we don't know. Sometimes we don't know what we need help with. So just reach out to us. You can also just check in anytime. Like, is there anything you guys need help with this month? I'm light on work. Maybe I can help you with something. That's all. Just feel free. We're very approachable, I think, and very responsive now that I can get into the Gmail. We're responsive to those emails. I've been answering them all week. So I will respond to those. So yeah, please reach out. Please stay in contact. Don't think, oh, I don't know if I should reach out. What if this is a dumb question? There's no dumb questions. Please ask. Please communicate as much as you can. And also, if you have questions about the conference, just in general, sometimes I feel like freelancers are like, should I go? Is this for freelancers? Do I need to go to this? What is this? ask us questions, reach out and talk to us, because I think that there's some of the freelancers who turn up at these are surprised at how much they get out of it. And they're so thankful, but maybe they just went on a whim, or it happened to be near their hometown, so they went. So if you have questions about that, I think I sort of take for granted that everybody knows what the conferences are. Everybody knows what we offer there. And I think I hear every year that people are surprised and just so thankful that they showed up, and so surprised at what we offered.
I'd have to agree with that. And the other thing that we want to keep in mind too is that, the freelance community is open to everyone. So all levels of freelancers, and freelancing is also a wide range of people. Some people work full time in freelance. Some people freelance from other jobs that are outside of journalism. Some people freelance because they love doing it. So we have a wide range of people. So there's no person that's perfect, and no one is excluded from being able to freelance. So you don't have to feel like you have to have a certain thing that you're doing in order to be a part of the freelance community, right? Because everyone is welcome. And that means all those resources would actually make us all better freelancers as well. And with that, we're going to end this session today. I think we're going to stop the recording in a minute. Do we have any time left over, Stacy, for anyone that wants to stay or
Yeah, we
present
do.
for us?
Yep.
We're
okay.
It was good to
All right.
see everybody.
All right, thank you. And then, so
Okay.
we're going to go ahead and stop the recording, and thank you.
Yeah, I started, let me just stop it.